Welcome everyone. 3 key pillars to lose weight and keep it off. Guess what? Without going on another crazy diet, even if you work crazy shifts or you're a stay-at-home mama, because that can be crazy. So I'm going to share with you how women end the cravings, lose weight, and keep it off easier. Because what would you like something easier, right? Without dieting or completely depriving yourself. Even if you work 12-hour shifts, I'm a former ER nurse, so I understand the time constraints that comes with that. Even if you feel like you've tried everything, can anyone relate to that? Like, I feel like I've tried everything and nothing's working, or I just can't keep the weight off. Even if at your point, you're like, look, I'm just about ready to give up. I just don't even know what to do anymore. Got you covered. I'm going to share with you how you can definitely lose weight and keep it off, because it's the keeping it off that is the real struggle for most women. So here's what you can expect. This is not your typical masterclass, because I'm going to give you about an hour of practical content when it comes to health and losing the excess unhealthy weight. I'll share the 4 top mistakes. There might be 1 or 2 or more than them that is potentially holding you back. And I'll reveal the 3 key pieces to get you to your optimal healthy weight. But not only that, to keep it off. And part of keeping it off for some women is the emotional or stress eating, and also finding out why they're gaining the weight back. So I'm curious, how many of you are here because you're like, I'm just done with this whole, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything and nothing seems to be working. Can anyone relate to that one? Like, I've done all the things, because that was me too. I felt like at one point I'm doing all the things, but I can't keep the weight off. Or potentially maybe you're like, I don't know what to do. There's so much information out there and some of it's conflicting. So what do I even do? Can anyone relate to that one? Yeah. Becky says, yep. There's a lot. I mean, you go on the Google, you look up weight loss, and there's tons and tons of pages that are there. So here's what you will learn. Once again, the top 4 mistakes. One of the most common mistakes women make, the number 1 mistake. I'm going to share with you what women think they need to do to see results, but this is not it. I'm going to share with you that this is what the diet industry tells you to do, but they're wrong. And the number 1 mistake in trying to lose weight, and the 3 key pieces to help you to get you to where you want to get. And here are the 3 key pieces. There is a missing essential step. When it comes to the diet industry, when it comes to a lot of weight loss programs, they're missing this essential step. Actually, there's 2. These must be customized, because if it's not customized for you, if it's not for your unique body and life recipe, you're going to be doing a program potentially that's not going to work. And the secret sauce to keeping the weight off, because I've been there, done that, professional yo-yo dieter for 10+ years. For me, it was keeping the dang weight off. I kept gaining it back. So what's the secret sauce to that? I'm going to share with you what that is. So I'm curious, what would it feel like if you had an easy way of eating where you can still eat what you want while maintaining a positive sense of control? What would that feel like for you? Yeah. Or how would it feel to no longer count points, track your calories, weigh your food, or worry about if certain foods will cause you to gain weight? Yeah, freedom. Yeah. Freedom. And for many women, they just want that freedom. I'm with you on that one. What if you were able to do this without ever giving up your favorite foods, depriving yourself, or going on yet another diet where they're really strict on you? Yeah, how would that feel for you? Back in my day, I'd be like, show me the money. What would that be worth to you? Yeah. So I'm here to share with you, it is possible. It is possible. Here are graduates of my program, past participants of my challenges, and sharing like the success that they've had. So I'm here to share with you, it is possible. So here are my past clients in my program. Nancy lost 15 pounds. Kathy lost 9 pounds. By the way, Kathy lost 5 in the first week. Danielle lost 25 pounds. That was in the middle of the pandemic when many were gaining. She lost 25 pounds. Brandy lost 7 pounds. We didn't change hardly what she was eating. She was a sugar addict. Susie lost 9 pounds. She was a stress eater. And April was able to conceive and have a baby. He's 2 years old now. And Gina's autoimmune systems improved significantly. Her flare-ups decreased significantly, and so much more is possible. So this is for women who work in healthcare. We're a different type of breed, right? I'm a former ER nurse. I'm still in nursing. And this is any area of healthcare, by the way. This is for women. If you're struggling to keep the excess weight off, this is for you. This is for women who are tired of dieting, women who struggle with emotional or stress eating. Yes. So if you're busy and stressed and you want to easily kick that stress eating or emotional eating to the curb, this is for you. If you've ever been freaked out by the thought of starting yet another diet, been there, done that, and you want simple ways to get you to your optimal healthy weight, this is for you. If you're ready to finally get this eating thing handled so that you can let your best self shine, this is for you. Who is this not for? And if it's not for you, totally cool. This is not for someone looking for a quick fix. Quick fixes do not stick. That's why 30-day programs, day 31, we're back to those habits that got us there in the first place. This is not for someone not willing to put in the work. You have to take action and you have to implement. There's no easy button that it just magically appears, right? It'd be great if that were the case. It's not for someone looking how to cut the calories and exercise more. Because if that really truly worked, we would not still be trying to lose weight in this day and age, right? If it was merely eat fewer calories and move more. Because I don't know about you, but I knew how to work a diet. Let me know if you relate to that one. It's like, you know how to work a diet. This is not for someone who wants to do nothing and lose weight. Yeah, you got to put the work in. So who I am, if you were in the summit, you got some of my background story. I'm a registered nurse and a certified health coach, and I help women who work in healthcare to go from burnt out, exhausted, unhealthily overweight, and eating their feelings to rejuvenated, energized at their optimal healthy weight and no longer eating their feelings. I help them to break the chains of dieting and emotional eating so that they can stop merely surviving, start thriving, and live the life that they were destined to live, the life of their dreams. But see, my life has not always been like that. Back in my dieting days, I end up actually being a binge eater. But I never acknowledged it because, see, my binge eating was on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I had an unwritten rule in my home that my binge food had to be eaten up by Monday because I didn't want to feel like crap during the work week. So instinctively, I knew what the binge eating was doing to me and my energy levels, but I was just like thinking I just needed to lose weight. I've been on multiple diets, multiple. In fact, I started my first official diet my junior year in college because I gained 10 pounds on top of the freshman 25 I had gained. So I gained 35 pounds total. My jeans weren't fitting any longer. I had to lay on the bed and zip those suckers up. Can anyone relate to that one? And so that started my first official DIET. Back in the day, it was you ate fewer calories and you got more movement in. But those calories were the diet type foods, the low fat and the fat-free foods. So I switched from regular ice cream to frozen yogurt. I switched from regular soda to diet soda. I was a huge sugar addict and a huge dessert person. So I went to the snack wells. Anyone remember snack wells back in the day? Like they had these dessert type foods and cookies, but they were full of artificial sweeteners and diet type ingredients that for me, eventually my body was just getting sick and tired. My migraines were cycling, my headaches were out of control. I had 10 plus years of yo-yo dieting. I felt like I was just trying to lose the same 10 pounds over and over again. But here's the thing. At one point, I got to what I determined was my ideal weight. Yeah, size 2. But I still was not happy in the skin I was in. I was still very critical of myself and my body. I had this love-hate relationship, right? And so I knew that wasn't healthy instinctively. But I thought, but what's the answer? Because I'm very critical of my body. I gained weight back and then again, yo-yo dieting. So I thought, screw it. This is going to be my life, right? Let me just accept it. My birthday happens to be in January. So the first week in January, January 4th. And I had done all the holiday eating, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Trust me, I never said no to any food that came because by this time I was a closeted binge eater. My come to Jesus moment came when I had binged all holiday season long, went out for my birthday dinner, had a huge, lovely dinner and dessert, came home with the rest of the birthday cake, which was almost more than half the cake, sat on my green couch, got the whole platter of birthday cake. I didn't just get one slice or two slices. I got that bad boy on my lap, fork in hand, had some ice cream as well, watching a romantic comedy. My black cat, Judah, who's now 18, on my one side, and my gray striped cat, Zacchaeus, on my other side, just binging this birthday cake and watching this romantic comedy. But this romantic comedy I had watched hundreds of times, but for some reason, there is a part where she decides, I'm going to, lose the excess unhealthy weight. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop binge drinking. I'm going to have healthy relationships with men and stop dating the ones that it's an unhealthy relationship. And as the music's playing in the background and you see the whole video montage of her, I literally, with fork in hand, by the way, go, you go, girl. And I paused and I thought to myself, where is my you go, girl? I have been battling with weight for over 10, 15 years. I have been going on countless weight loss programs for 10, 15 years. What about me? Is this good? I literally took a pause and said, the whole freaking birthday cake on my lap, eating, stuffing my face, is this going to be my life? See, at that point in time, I slowly had withdrawn from social events because I did not like how I looked. I couldn't find clothes that fit and that looked good. And so I slowly was saying no to going out with friends and family. And it got to the point that my friends just no longer asked me because I would either say no or last minute say, I can't make it. So I was slowly isolating myself. I thought, dang it, is this going to be my life? Is this going to be me same time next year, whole freaking birthday cake on my lap, watching a romantic comedy, only going out very, very rarely and being isolated at home. See, single at the time. No one knew I was a binge eater. Isolate myself. I was at home alone. I had this script in my head going, you're not worthy. You can't do it. Look at the past because you failed. You're a registered nurse. You should have this freaking shit worked out, right? So I thought, dang it, something's going to change. But I didn't want another diet. Been there, done that. So I was looking for something like, what was the missing piece of all the diets and the weight loss programs I was on? Because I kept feeling like there's a missing piece. Which is why I went from diet to diet to diet, weight loss program to weight loss program, hoping that that program had that missing piece I was looking for, because I kept gaining the weight back. So I did something that I love to do. I researched. I looked at medical journal articles. I looked at nutrition articles. I looked at holistic articles, and I found that weight loss is not just what you eat and how much you move. Those two are very valid, but there's a lot more components, or what I like to call facets, when it comes to the weight loss equation. Sleep. I was barely getting 3-4 hours of sleep at that time. Stress. Out of 10, 10 being very stressed, I was like at a 12, 14. I was on a good day, by the way. Just those two alone affect hormones, hunger hormones. I felt like I could never get satisfied when it came to eating. I kept looking for more food. Even when I had a binge event, I felt like, man, I'm still hungry. Let me go to my cupboards. I've got some peanut butter. I've got some chocolate. Let me put the two together. I've got some leftover ice cream. Hey, there's pizza left over. And I would still continue to eat. So there's a lot more involved in this whole weight loss equation, a lot more facets. And I'm not a diamond expert, but I do know that the more facets a diamond has, the more brilliantly it shines. So I learned that the more facets we address when it comes to the weight loss equation, the more successful, the more brilliantly that we can shine. So at this point in time, I'm like, well, I need some help because I'm learning about this, but freaking A, I cannot be consistent. I realized that about myself. And it's at that point in time that I'm starting to slowly acknowledge I'm a binge eater and I need help with this. But I still thought I only need to lose weight. So I found a health coach, and what she said resonated with me because I asked, are you going to give me a list of foods to eat and a list of foods not to eat? Like, what's your eating plan here? She goes, no, we're going to figure out what your body needs. I'm like, okay, that's different. She's like, yeah, how's your stress? I'm like, I laughed, I chuckled. You really want to know? How are you sleeping? I'm like, barely at all. So she was asking me questions that other weight loss programs and the quote unquote accountability you got, which really wasn't much, was basically, here's what you need to eat. Let's talk about macros and your calories. You need to eat less and move more. I'm like, well, this is completely different, but it's in alignment with what I had been learning. So I paired up with her, dealt with my stress, slept better, and as a result was balancing these hunger hormones that were coming into play, right? I worked on my mindsets because that was messing me up, and I acknowledged for the first time that I was a binge eater working with her. So yes, I lost weight, but for me, I had so much more energy. I was sleeping better. I started to love myself in a way that I hadn't loved myself in quite some time, and loving my body and listening to my body and the foods that my body desires and jives with, which is not the same for everyone. I learned that when it came to protein, yes, I eat animal protein, but I can't eat bunches and bunches of it. My body thrives when I eat a lot of plant protein, you know, those vegetables that come into play. I was sleeping better. I was dealing with my stress. I lost weight, but I felt so much better in the skin that I was in. So now I have the honor and privilege of helping women do the same because I knew how I felt like such a failure. And I thought, dang it, if I'm feeling this way, I know other women are feeling this way. But we've been sold a bad bill of goods when it comes to diet industry because diets are designed to fail, which is why it's $1 billion industry. Why? Because they want your money. They want your money. I'm here to tell you it is possible to not only lose weight, but to give you tools and strategies that you have a toolkit so that when life hits you, which it most likely will as soon as you get off this call, you have strategies in place so that you can not go to the food for comfort, so that you can believe in yourself in a way that you potentially have not been believing in yourself in a way. So you can flip the scripts of maybe the stories that you've been telling yourself in your head so that you can have that freedom that you are desiring to have and not be so controlled by weight and by what you eat, because that was me. I was controlled by my food, and my mindset played a huge role in that. So I'm here to tell you that you too can have your you go girl moment. But yes, I do health coaching and I work with hundreds of women to do the same. But in my downtime, I love to watch reruns of the TV show Bones. I love her. I love her. And she has such a great sense of self-worth because she's the expert in the top in her field. She's a forensic anthropologist, but she's so intelligent that she can't get jokes. So she'll be like, I don't know what that means. And you just kind of chuckle at her. And she'll tell you, I'm not normal, I'm extraordinary. I'm like, hashtag life goals. Seriously, because we are extraordinary women and beings, right? And so I love her sense of self-worth. So I've shared my story. I dieted, I ate low fat, no fat foods. I thought I had to work out every day, by the way. And I am now a best-selling author. I have been featured in 2 best-selling books. The One Thing Every Mom Needs to Know and The One Thing Every Mompreneur Needs to Know, international best-selling books on Amazon. I've been featured in Natural Awakenings, which is a holistic magazine. I've been voted top 3 the best health coaches here in Ocala. I've won the Dynamic Speaker Award for Women Rocking Business. And I'm here to tell you that you too can have your you go girl moment, because awards aside, my mission on this planet is to help women understand that you are so worth to be healthy. You're worth it to love your body because you are worth it. And you too can have your you go girl moment, whether it be to strut your stuff on the beach this summer, right? By the way, beach time for me was such a hate relationship, whether it's to just merely, I just want to pull up the clothes that are in my closet and be able to fit into them, or whether it's potentially a dream that you have for your life, a vision that you've put on the back burner because you felt like you couldn't attain it, that it wasn't possible. I'm here to tell you, you too can have your you go girl moments. But I'm also here to tell you that you and your body are unique. Diets don't work long-term because they are cookie cutter in nature. They believe that this one program is going to work for every single person. You and your body are unique. And you're not one-dimensional, right? You've got different facets to you. So we've been programmed to believe that a program that deals with what we eat and how we move are the only things that's going to work for us, but it's not. But there is a cost to all of this, because not only is it affecting how we feel about ourselves, but there's legitimately health reasons why you want to have a healthy, optimal weight. Keywords there, healthy and optimal. It is not a number on a scale or the size of your clothes, right? I am not at my lowest weight ever. That was not a healthy weight for me. I had to come to terms with that and acknowledge that my body, my optimal healthy weight is actually a larger number on the scale than what I thought it would be or believed it to be, because we're programmed to believe it. There's a cost of cardiovascular disease, heart disease, #1 killer among women, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, abnormal glucose intolerance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes, psychological, depression, low self-esteem. I was hit hard with those too. And then there's knee pain, ankle pain, foot pain, back pain, and it raises your risk of heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, and death. There is a cost. Fatigue, I hear this from many, many women. No energy whatsoever. You could have headaches. Me, headaches and migraines were cycling big time. Joint aches. And then the financial costs, prescription medication or over-the-counter medications, or maybe alternative ways for you to seek relief from the aches and pains that the unhealthy weight has potentially given you. So I'm curious, what is the price that you have been paying? That's a great question. I don't know who it is who's on the phone. I'm going to get into that. How do I determine my optimal healthy weight? We're going to get into that, because if you need to release unhealthy weight, your body will release it. If it doesn't, it won't. And there's actually some measurements other than scale that lets us know. Percent body fat in particular. Research shows that percent body fat higher than 25%, you're at jeopardy for these health issues. 25% health fat. And then you have to look at visceral fats. Visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your organs, your heart, your lungs. That is no bueno. That is bad, 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 right? And you can be skinny, quote unquote skinny, and still have that bad fat. So there's measurements to take. You want that less than 100. It's called an in-body or a body composition, where it gives you the percent body fat, how much your lean muscle mass is, your skeletal muscle mass, and it shows you arms, legs, torso. It shows you percent body fat, and there's a certain measurement in how you want those to look like. That's your optimal healthy weight for you. Those measurements have to be a certain spot. So it's not a number on a scale, because you can be over 200, but those numbers, you want it to look like a D, by the way. It's a certain measurement that we use. But you can be at a higher weight, but yet your percent body fat and your skeletal muscle mass, which is important, which a lot of people don't look at, because you can be 125 pounds, but you got your percent body fat is high and your lean muscle mass is low, which means you got more fat than muscle. You want it to be switched. You want more muscle than fat. By the way, muscle weighs more than fat. So the number on the scale, if it goes up, we got to look at what's your muscle mass compared to your body fat. Because if it goes up, but body fat's down and your muscle mass has increased, that's actually a good thing. So then what is the price you've been paying? So for me, it was a whole freaking mindset. Low self-esteem, social isolation, binge eating. And that affected my migraines, my headaches. I was not sleeping. I was not healthy. No matter how much weight you want to lose, how energetic and healthy you want to be, you actually need personalized strategies and systems to do so, individualized. Because that question about how do I determine my optimal health weight, excellent question. I love it. Everyone's going to be different. Your measurements are going to look a little different. It's not a number on a scale. So here are the most common mistakes. I'm going to dive deeper into these: dieting, depriving yourself, not eating for your body, no support or accountability, doing programs that don't show you how to keep the weight off, or don't give you the tools to how to keep the weight off, which is why 95% of women, as soon as that program's over, within 6 months or less, typically, it can take longer, you're gaining the weight back. And that weight that you've gained back is actually more fat. Yeah, why? It's because most programs, you're losing muscle mass. The typical diet, you lose muscle. So the weight you gain back, even though it's the same amount pounds-wise on the scale, it's actually more fat than muscle. And not addressing your whole life recipe. By the way, I was every single mistake here, every single one. Mistake number one, by the way, biggest mistake women make is dieting. Why? We've been programmed to believe it, right? We've had so many years of the diet industry feeding us these lies. We're programmed to believe it. In fact, still to this day, I have women asking, how many calories should I eat? It depends. For me, if I were to get on MyFitnessPal or another app for weight loss, it tells me to get to what they believe my optimal weight should be, I need to eat 1,200 calories. Guess what? I don't eat 1,200 calories. I need more than 1,200 calories. When I have my proper ratio of protein, fats, and carbohydrates for my body, I need more calories. But see, there's a differentiation between sugar calories and your protein and your vegetable and fruit calories. We've been programmed to believe that if we just hit our calorie goal without addressing if we're eating food that is food or food that is not food, and other things in our life. And food is labeled as good or bad, right? And what happens when you eat the bad food? I don't know about you, but I felt bad. And it started my whole downward spiral of, I've ate bad food. I might as well screw it. I've already messed up today. Your body might not work best on that eating plan. Keto is the most popular one right now that I'm hearing about program-wise. But your body might not deal well with those high healthy fats. Your body might deal better with moderate healthy fats and more protein. You got to find the eating plan that is right for you. Once again, your body may need more calories, and you need to eat, and you might be eating food that is not food. What am I talking about? There are foods that the typical standard American diet, SAD, the SAD diet, SAD way of eating, makes us eat because we've been programmed to, right? It's like, you need to eat this to lose weight and to be healthy. The food that is on that is not all food. What I mean by that, food needs to be nutritious and it needs to sustain life. There are food, quote unquote, foods that are not food that we are eating and you see these on typical diet plans that is not food. It might be nutritious, right? It might have minerals, vitamins, but it might not be life-sustaining. And once again, a calorie isn't just a calorie. Sugar calories affect your body differently than protein, healthy fats, and vegetable calories. We have so many years of the low-fat, fat-free way of eating. Guess what happened as a result? Obesity, significant increase in obesity, significant. Why? Because they take fat out. Fat makes food taste yummy. It gives food its flavor. And the food industry is not stupid. They're like, well, if we take out the fat, it's not going to taste good. What can we put in place? They put sugar in its place. So they take out the fat and now we're eating more sugar. Obesity is on the rise. Type 2 diabetes, when it used to be, older years, potentially type 2 diabetic, now we're seeing it in the younger kids, college age, high school, where they're now type 2 diabetic. And if you have a diagnosis early on, chances are you're going to end up on insulin because your pancreas has been damaged and it can't give you sufficient insulin to counteract sugar. Mistake number 2, depriving yourself. Oh my goodness. Eliminating complete food. Once again, food is in capital letters because I'm talking about food that is food. Food groups calls it self-sabotage. So when you completely eliminate all fruits because you're going no carb or low carb, it causes self-sabotage because our body does want some sweetness. Our taste buds in our tongue has sweet taste buds. Our body is designed to have some sweetness. So if we completely eliminate the fruit category, the food group of fruits, you're going to self-sabotage. And it creates fear of missing out, right? Who wants to miss out, right? You go out to eat and you got some yummy things on the plate, right? And it could be even a healthier dessert version, right? It creates fear of missing out. And then what happens is you eat just a little bit, and a little bit turns into a little bit more. And then you go into a weekend or a week-long quote unquote cheat fest where you're just eating and eating and eating. By the way, I've been there, done that. And it causes additional stress because then you're in the mindset of, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And you're like, oh, but I'm trying to, but I really want that, but I can't. And it causes stress. And stress in itself, cortisol goes up, cortisol sugar, then your sugar becomes unbalanced. Does any of this sound familiar? Because this was so me. This was so me. Mistake number 3, not eating for your body. No judgment whatsoever, because I didn't understand this myself until I dove deep and hooked up with a health coach. What I mean by that, not every diet is right for your body. Not every woman can do keto. Their body doesn't work well with those healthy fats. Not every woman, protein-wise, can eat a lot of animal protein. I'm one of them. I eat animal protein. I eat the beef. I eat the chicken. I eat the turkey. But I know that if I eat too much of that, my headaches and migraines are going to spiral out of control. So I know I need to make sure I incorporate a lot more vegetables. Vegetables do have protein. How can we know vegetables have protein? What do cows eat? Healthy, they eat grass, right? Well, how does that cow get to be a big, robust animal? It's because grass has protein in it, right? Naturally, right? Naturally, I'm not talking about the grain-fed cows because that's a whole another issue. So not every diet is right for you. You got to find what's going to work for your body. No matter what the gurus say, there is no one eating plan that works for every single woman. There are eating plans that focus on food that is food. That's what we want to do. But even within that eating plan, there could potentially be some foods that your body does not like or does not want. Peppers for me, my body, I love them, but I can't do green peppers. Avocado, my client can't do avocado. There's other healthy foods, food that is food, that not every person can eat. Eggs. For my friend, eggs make her glucose go up. And even she's like, I know you think eggs are okay, but for me, for my body, eggs are not good. So even within an eating plan that is food, you have to find the specific foods that are right for your body. Number 4, dismissing the whole you. What I mean by that, your hormones, and I'm not talking just about the female hormones. They do play a role, but I'm talking about the other hormones, which I mentioned in my talk on sleep yesterday. Leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, human growth hormone. Your stress, how are you stressed? What's your stress level on the daily? Or if your stress changes from day to day, what's your average stress level during the week? If it's 5 or above, you got to have strategies in place to deal with it. Your sleep, how are you sleeping? My talk yesterday, sleep's very important. We have to sleep at least 7 hours of good quality sleep. Why? Because it affects those hunger hormones. Yeah. It all plays a role. And this one right here, which is very significant for women, the core or root reason for you gaining the weight back. It could potentially be self-sabotage. It could potentially be your body's trying to protect you from either discomfort or hurt because something happened in the past and your body's trying to protect you from it. Your body legacy. How was weight and food addressed when you were growing up? Our identities formed between the ages of 2 and 8. What were the female caregivers in your life and how they perceive their own body, how they perceive weight, how they look at food? And I'm talking about mom, aunt, grandmother, that primary female caregiver in your life whoever that was. No judgment on them. They were just doing what they knew to be the best, right? At the time, they just doing what they've been programmed to do. But it does play a role into our behavior as an adult. If you had a mom who stressed over gaining 1 pound, do you stress over gaining even 1 pound? If you had a mom who's very critical of her body, are you now very critical of your body? If you had a mom who even put you on a diet when you were younger, that plays a role into our adulthood. Once again, no judgment. They're just doing the best they could at the time, but it does affect the whole weight regain issue and keeping the weight off. The programming, the diet industry has instilled in us these lies, and we've been programmed to believe it. So we have to start with some reprogramming how we feel, think about food, calories being one of them, right? Calories, not just a calorie. You need most likely more calories than what the typical weight loss app is telling you to eat. Your self-sabotage. Are you self-sabotaging? If you are, where is that stemming from? Because if we don't know the reason why and instill strategies because of the reason why, it's going to come back again. Big time with me with the weight regain. Your self-limiting beliefs and your mindset. What are the stories or the scripts that either someone told you or you've been telling yourself? It plays a huge role, and it's very subconscious when it comes to that, which is why it can be difficult to lose weight or regaining the weight back, because I can't do it. What if something happens? All very subconscious. It's not that we say, oh yeah, I'm going to gain the weight back because I don't believe in myself. No, it's very subconscious with that. And then how you view your body. Are you viewing your body as the enemy? Are you viewing your body as, you know, like pushback as a separate entity? All that comes into play. Mistake number 4 is what plays a huge role. Dieting is the number 1 mistake because we all kind of have that dieting mentality, but mistake number 4 is what prevents us from keeping the weight off. You can have everything in place, eating the healthiest food available, but if we don't address these right here, chances are you're going to go back to old patterns of behavior, right? Eating food that is not food, eating too much sugar, binge eating, overeating, whatever that is for you as far as the unhealthy behaviors that are not in alignment to you getting to your optimal healthy weight for your body. Once again, you and your body are unique. Your whole life affects your weight and your health. So here are some reasons why you are potentially stuck if you are stuck yo-yo dieting. Making excuses, and that comes back to mindset. Lack of focus or distractions. Life is always going to life on you. Wouldn't it be great if you had strategies in place so that when life's on you and stress and crap hits the fan, you're like, I got this, girl. I've got strategy right here I'm going to implement. There are some stressors in your life you can't get rid of, but let's have strategies in place to properly cope well with it, because I'm going to get into the reason why we need to do that in a moment. Procrastination. I'll do that Monday. However you ever done that, dieting, my dieting days. Oh, it's the weekend. I'm going to start Monday. Monday comes around. Oh, crap, I forgot to start. Okay, I'll start next Monday. And you have a whole week of not starting. You don't have a proper strategy because you don't know what you don't know. Lack of coaching, support, accountability, thinking you're not good enough or thinking you can't do that. Do it. There are challenges. You might wanting to quit is a challenge. Life getting in the way, going back to old patterns of behavior, stress about cheating or not being perfect. It's all about 1% improvement. If we have 1% improvement every day, by the end of the year, it's 365% improvement versus boom, 10% out of the gate and crap, that just happened and you fall down and you don't get back up. Small steps still get you to the top. Big steps too, and might get you there faster, but chances are we're gonna fall on our booty and might not be able to get back up. Your self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt. I had every single one of these. Thinking you don't have the time. You'll do it when life settles down. You believe you can't do it. What if it doesn't work for me? In fact, my last program I was on before I hooked up with a health coach, didn't tell anyone, because what if I'm the one person that program didn't work for? Yeah. Wanting a faster fix, quick fixes do not stick. So that's why I created the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method. These are 3 key pillars to get results and help you to keep the weight off. Pillar number 1, this is the missing essential step. We have to rebalance and stabilize hunger and fat burning hormones. How do we do that? We have to look at your whole life recipe. What I mean by that, we have to address and cope well with stress in all areas of our life. We're always going to have stress. That's part of life. However, we need proper strategies. Why? What does stress do? First off, stress depletes us of our energy. When we're low on energy, we go with what we've been programmed to do, which is go to sugar or high calorie, empty calorie foods that are not food to give us that energy. We can go to caffeine. Caffeine increases cortisol. And then the more caffeine we drink, it messes with our sleep cycle. So there's a whole realm of things that come to play. And the number one reason why we want to address stress well is because you can be eating the healthiest meal on the planet of all the foods that your body jives with, and that's on your personalized eating plan. But if you're eating while stressed, and for many women, we don't realize it because we're so used to multitasking. If we eat that healthy meal while stressed, our body does not digest it. It deals with stress. Digestion is turned off. Why? It's because the blood is in our arms and our legs to help us either run away from the stress or to fight it. So now our body's going, I can't really digest this food. Oh my goodness, because digestion's turned off. So it's stored as future fuel, AKA fat. And then all those great micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals that help get you your energy, that helps your immune system, that helps you stay healthy. It gets excreted through urine or stool because our small intestines can't absorb it because we're under stress. We have to address and cope well with stress in all areas of our life because it affects our digestion. Our digestion in turn will affect if we're storing the excess fats. By the way, if you have fat in the belly, that's usually because of stress. Stress also affects how well we're sleeping. Yeah. And then we need to sleep well, and we need to get into deep sleep. Why? It's because there's hormones that come into play. Human growth hormone, which is essential. It helps us to burn fats. It's an anti-aging hormone. It rejuvenates us. 75% of that is released during deep sleep. So we have to get into deep sleep so that it can be released, because human growth hormone also helps us to lower our cortisol level, that stress hormone, that stress response. Other hormones that come into play, leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is our appetite satiating hormone. Ghrelin, think of the word growl, hungry. It promotes hunger and fat storage. Yeah. So when we don't sleep well, ghrelin is increased significantly. And then we're quote unquote hungry the next day. And then ghrelin also promotes fat storage. And then our leptin, our appetite suppressant hormone, is lowered. So we end up eating and eating and eating and eating. So have you ever had times where you're like, man, I just ate a really big meal, but I am still hungry? It could potentially be stress and sleep. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, so how do we do this? This is also a reason why we want to lower stress, is because normally emotional eating is a stress response. That can be a stress response because we're trying to calm the nervous system by eating foods that affect our dopamine levels. It gives us a hit. Dopamine helps us to feel better. So the emotional eating is a result of stresses in our life. We're trying to calm the nervous system by eating foods that help us to do that. And so we want to end that. So how? By dealing with stress and sleeping well, so that also we can burn the excess fat, digest our food better. Yes, this is key. I work with a lot of women, and we look at what they're eating, right? Food that is food versus food that is not food. Every single one, stress, 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 stress. and they're not dealing with it because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so that can promote weight loss plateaus. It can also make you gain weight, and it's the fat that's gaining as well. And then also dealing with stress and sleeping better, you're so much more energy because you're absorbing those micronutrients, those B vitamins that help us to deal with stress. We've got great reserves. What I mean by that, we've got our levels of micronutrients are high because our body's probably absorbing it, so that when we're hit with stress or there's illness around, our immune system can support us and we can better deal with the stress and not feel so depleted. And stop eating junk food and stop the cravings and stop the sugar addiction and get over those weight loss plateaus. So this is one of my graduates of my program, Brandy. When she came to me, she goes, I am a sugar addict. And she actually had come right off of a very popular weight loss program that you hear about the beginning of the year. You're probably hearing about it now because we're getting into summertime here in the States. And she's like, I really don't want to, don't give me a list of foods to eat and a list of foods not to eat. I'm like, totally cool, because I don't do that anyway. And so I helped her with her stress levels because her job was very stressful. And given her the strategies to help lower her stress and deal with her stress, she was able to lose 7 pounds in 6 weeks without really changing significantly what she was eating. We worked on that later, but because she'd come off very popular weight loss programs that were very strict in what she was eating, she's like, I don't want to address that right now. I'm like, totally cool. So just by merely giving her strategies to help lower her stress, her cravings were going away. She lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Brandy towards the end and how she got her vision. All right, pillar number 2, these must be customized. I've already mentioned it, eating and movements. You need a customized eating plan, food that is food, and finding what your ratio of protein, fats, and carbohydrates works best for you. Lower carb is always better, 75 grams of carbs. However, there comes a certain point where once we find your sweet spot of protein ratio, of how many grams of protein and what type of protein, then we kind of play around with the carbs, because there can come a point where you actually need more carbohydrates. Yeah, are you more active? What's going on? How are you feeling? And we start to listen to our bodies, because our body always has the answer. We've just been programmed not to listen to our bodies because it's the diet industry that's done that. And then a movement plan for your body. All right, why we want this? So that you can stop dieting and being frustrated about not knowing what to eat, because there's so much conflicting information out there, right? Keto, paleo, low carb, high carb, Atkins, right? There's so many different ways of eating. But once we acknowledge that we need to eat food that is food, stick with food that is food, and food that is not food, we dive deep into that in my program. And then also we find your customized eating plan and move your body with movement that you love. What's the best movement to do? It's the movement you're going to be consistent with. You don't need to work out 2 hours at the gym every day. If you like to do that, totally cool. Keep doing it. But for some women, we've been programmed by the dieting industry that we need to work out ad nauseum. If we work out too much, that's physical stress on the body. What did we just go over? How stress interferes with digestion and promotes fat gain. Yeah. So we got to find your sweet spot of movement as well. So here's another graduate of my program, Nancy. When she came to me, she's like, my joints are achy, and I really love to go bike riding with my husband, and they actually will go like 20, 25 miles on the trails here in Ocala. There's lots of biking trails. She's like, I can barely get 5 miles, and I'm missing out that time of, me and my husband. That's our together time. And she's like, my joints are achy. It's hard for me now, and I've gained some weight. So with giving her strategies to help her with stress and sleep and finding the foods that are right for her body, one of them being how much sugar was she eating, food that is not food. She easily lost 15 pounds. Her joints stopped aching, and she was able to go bike riding on the trails again with her husband. They go like 20, 25 miles. That's like their weekend with her. So it is possible. Number 3, the secret sauce. How do we prevent the weight regain, right? How do we do this? Well, we have to discover reasons for self-sabotage. First off, are you self-sabotaging? And second, what's the underlying reason? What's going on? We have to learn your body legacy, because if we brought in those mindsets from when we were younger, if we brought that into our adulthood, we have to address it. And we have to do some different mapping with the brain and helping to, address and get new strategies in place. And uncover the root reason for your weight gain in the first place. Is it physical? Is there hormones, other hormones that are out of balance? Is it you're not getting your micronutrients? Is it you're not eating food that is food? What's the reason for the weight gain in the first place? Was there trauma associated with that? What was going on at that point in time? And then uncovering that lovingly. And then now we've got a way to go with new, healthier strategies in place as well. And I find for some women with the weight gain or weight regain, they usually say this time around is a little bit more difficult. So we kind of delve into what's the reason for that. Is it stress? You're just not managing it well. You're not sleeping well. Your hunger hormones are out of balance. There can come a point where your leptin, your appetite satiating hormone, is so out of balance that you don't even know when you are physically hungry and you need to refuel. I have women who say, I never feel hungry. Leptin and ghrelin are potentially out of balance. Yeah, so you got to uncover the reason for the weight gain in the first place. Why do we want to do this? Because here's what we do with pillar 3 is you get tools to maintain your optimal healthy weight. We help address mindset. We address self-limiting beliefs. We look at the potential self-sabotage, right? And we look at these things in your body legacy, and we start to promote some reprogramming with the brain and the body. Maybe you've been telling your body that you can't do it or that you hate your body. A body that does not receive love is not going to release the excess unhealthy weight. And mastering mindset, which is huge when it comes to preventing weight regain. Because you can follow a program and you can follow it because we all know how to work a diet, but what happens once we get off that program, or we try to continue counting the points, right? We try to continue counting calories of, past programs we've been on, but what's the reason for the inconsistency? Is it, first off, it could potentially be it's a program that's not designed for your unique body, right? It's cookie cutter, absolutely. Second off, is it consistency because life is life on you and you just don't have the proper strategies to navigate that? Is it you're not sleeping well? You're stressed out? Is it mindset? Is there some self-sabotage that's coming into play that you just are not aware of? Is it potentially what you saw and learned at a very young age, subconsciously, unconsciously, is playing a role in how you're working your weight and your weight loss goals? All right, so pillar number 3, why are we doing this? So we can stop the self-sabotage. Yes. So we can create a positive body image and legacy. And it's not just for us, the positive body image and legacy, it's also for your children and your grandchildren. Because remember I said our identities form between the ages of 2 and 8, and what were the women in your life, how they perceive weight, food, their body? What you're doing right now, if you have children between the 2 and 8, is going to affect, once again, no judgment at all. But the reality is, I call it legacy, because the legacy that we've been given from our primary female caregivers in our lives affects us. And then what we do affects the legacy we pass down to our children and our grandchildren. So it's not, what's the future generations? Let's have a positive body image and legacy so you can get your confidence back and master a new, healthier way of coping, a new normal, so that you can end the emotional and the stress eating. A new normal. Yes, this is why quick fixes don't stick. Now, this is a graduate of my program, Danielle. She worked with me in the midst of the whole shutdown of 2020, right, during the quarantine. Her job was essential. So she was still working, and then she'd come home at night and help homeschool her kiddos because schools were shut down. She lost 25 pounds. She lost 25 pounds. And part of that, her goal for her was to stop smoking. She's like, and she started walking 10,000 steps almost every day. And she got in a session with me one day and she said, I don't know where I would be had I not paired up with you and started working with you. I don't think I would have even been able to get out of bed. See, life had life on Danielle. She had moved from a different state, went back to live with her family in a trailer on the property, a single mom working to provide for her kids. Life had life on her. She was stressed. She was not sleeping. She turned to cigarettes as a way to cope, right? She turned to food as a way to cope with all that what was going on. Her hunger hormones were out of balance. And she had some mindset issues that we helped to flip the script for her as well and get a new normal for her. So now she has a healthy body legacy that she is giving to her children as well. So there are two ways to move forward. You can absolutely do this by yourself. You can go on the Google, you can learn stress management techniques, you can learn sleep management techniques, right? You can do the research, you can put it all in like I did, absolutely. But it can be very tiring putting that work in, especially in the midst of a very busy life. It's probably gonna take you longer because you have to weed out the lies from the truth. There are, and I know, go figure, there's lies on Google, really. And being consistent is the #1 struggle that I hear among women. I hear all the time, I know what I need to do, I'm just not doing it. And it can be overwhelming. And then you don't know what you don't know. There could potentially be some self-sabotage going on. Or you can lock arms with someone who's already proven to make it work in busy everyday life and get the support and get the accountability in a way that you've never had before. Women who come to work with me, I always ask them, what have you done in the past? Did they have any kind of support or accountability? 99% of them say if they did have accountability, it was basically just checking in, looking at a food log and saying, you need to eat more healthy fats or you need to eat less carbohydrates. That's all the accountability was looking at their food log. While that's very valid, it's not the support that we women truly need. We are a different breed. Our life is like a bowl of noodles or spaghetti. One noodle touches other noodles, which is why children, relationships, finances, health, wellness, career, work, it all intermingles, which is why you can be cooking dinner with a baby on your hip and a pet barking to go outside, and we can multitask that crap, right? We're good at that. Men think in boxes, like waffles. They can only have one box open at a time, which is why they can't do the multitasking for most of them, because they have to have that box closed before they can even think about doing anything else. Women, we got that covered, man. We got our arms and eggs and everything. We're a different breed. So if we don't get accountability in the facets of life that affect our health and our weight loss, one area is not addressed, it's going to affect results and potentially continuing and maintaining results as well. So remember Brandy, she's a graduate of my program. She lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks. She said I'm a sugar addict when she worked with me. She got more than weight loss because see, with the typical weight loss program, they're like, I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Well, that's awesome. For Brandy, the fact that she lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks was significant. Why? But because she got so much more than just what for some people can be perceived as she didn't lose a whole lot of weight. But let me tell you about Brandy, because Brandy got her vision. She got so much more than weight loss. Brandy is a licensed clinical social worker here in town. She works with the homeless population. She has such a huge heart for them. So much so that she likes to actually physically go to where they are living. And for those in Ocala, it's called the forest. It literally is the forest, where they are deep in the forest with their tents, with their blankets, with their belongings. But in order to get there, Brandy was telling me, is you can only drive so far. And then you have to get out of your car and physically walk the rest of the way. She goes, I can't do it. I can barely get halfway there. I would love to be able to walk out to where they're living, to sign them up for services for which they're eligible for, to give them food, to give them water, to give them the support that they need. I said, Brandy, that is an awesome vision. Let's get you that vision. Brandy got her vision. See, she got on session with me one day and she said, I did it. I was able to walk out and I didn't get tired. She goes, in fact, I was carrying a package of bottled water. I didn't get out of breath. I didn't have to stop. I walked out to where they were. I gave them food. I gave them water. I signed them up for services. She got her vision. She got her vision. So it's not just about weight. There could potentially be something that you're like, where's my you go girl moment like I was? Fist in the air. What about me? You might be thinking, what about me? What about you? You deserve to have your you go girl moment. You deserve to get to your optimal healthy weight. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So what's the price of an action on your family, relationships, finances, time, health, your vision for you and your life, right? There's a cost with everything. People who have a coach are 90% more successful than those who don't. Even Oprah Winfrey, when she was losing weight, paired up with a coach. Even Oprah Winfrey admitted she had to work on her mindset. She had to work on her T's, her traumas. So this is why I created the Beyond the Fork Real Deal Weight Loss. Yes. Now this is a newer program that I'm launching because I used to do one-on-one. And there are a lot of women who are coming to me, and to be honest, I don't have the time to work with every single woman who comes to me now in one-on-one. I just don't. So I created a group program. Yes. So you still get the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method, but this is in a group setting. You get to see you're not alone because there are other women just like you, right? You implement the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method to help you to break the chains of dieting and emotional eating and to help you to get to your optimal healthy weight for your body. Yes. To help you to go from exhausted, unhealthily overweight, potentially eating your feelings, to your optimal healthy weight. Yes. So that you can shed the excess unhealthy weight, boost your energy, lower your stress. It goes through and we dive deep into every facet of the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method. We work on each pillar at a time. Yes. Why is that important? Because the more facets we work on, just like that diamond, the more facets a diamond has, the more brilliantly it shines, and the more brilliantly you too will shine as well. Yes, we're going to help you to deal with stress, help you to sleep, help you to balance those hormones, help you to lose the excess unhealthy fat, that belly fat. Yes, help you to get your percentage of body fat down, help you to build that muscle mass, help you to balance your blood sugar, help you to decrease inflammation, help you to get your own personalized eating plan, right? Eating food that is food, but also finding out what your ratio of protein, carbohydrates, and fats is for your body to get your optimal healthy weight. Yes. So here's what you get. You get the accountability. You get individualized support, even in a group setting, because I have laser coaching for each individual who is on the group coaching calls. Yes. So you're still getting individualized coaching. And what happens, the dynamic with a group program is such that someone might ask a question that you didn't think of, but you're like, oh yeah, that question answer really helped me. Thank you so much for asking that. You're going to implement the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method. How does this work? There are 2 coaching calls a month. You get action guides, resources, cheat sheets, checklists, yes, and even recipes. If you're like, I have no time to look at recipes, I just want some recipes, I got you covered with that too. There is a Facebook group so that if you have questions, I post extra content there as well, a specific Facebook group. You get the 4 Keys to End Cravings Masterclass, You get that right away, by the way. You get email and text support Monday through Thursday. I give you my personal cell phone number. I do. And I answer you within 24 hours because I actually beta tested this and I found that you really don't exploit that, right? When life hits you and something happens, you can reach out via text or email saying, what do? I need some extra support on this. Absolutely. Total value is over $22,000. I have my master's in counseling. I've worked with women in grief. I worked with women with getting the weight off, with mindset, with emotional eating. But you get bonuses. There is a VIP kickoff call where we set you up for success in the program. Yes, it's going to be a kickoff call with everyone. This is a beta program, beta meaning because it's brand new, you're going to give me your feedback. You're going to give me your feedback as to what content you want, right? You're going to get content to begin with, but you're also going to give me feedback on it. This is what I do in my one-on-one programs, but you're going to get it in a group support setting. You're also going to get the Metabolism Jumpstart, rev up the weight loss. Why is this important? Because this is where you find out what your individualized eating plan is for you. And then through the course of the program, we tweak, we modify, we really help you to dive deep and to listen to your body to find out what foods you need to eat. This Metabolism Jumpstart is also what I call a cleanse. You don't need supplements or shakes. If you want to do that, totally cool, as long as it's food that is food. You're going to help your body get rid of toxins and chemicals. Toxins and chemicals promote fat gain. Yeah. Why? Because it's a protective mechanism. So if you are toxic, which most of us are, because of the food that we eat that are full of pesticides and herbicides, especially coffee, because of the shampoos and lotions and the environment, secondhand smoke, thirdhand smoke, we're inundated with it. So your body could potentially be toxic. So this Metabolism Jumpstart helps lower your toxic burden and helps you to start releasing unhealthy weight immediately. This is what one of my clients, Gina, helped her to significantly decrease her autoimmune symptoms. She found out right away what her body could tolerate and couldn't tolerate because it would immediately flare up for her. So that's a bonus for you. You also get the Sleep the Weight Off video course, which if you're in the summit and you're a VIP, you have that. If you're not a VIP, you get that when you enroll. You also get the Balanced Energy 5-day video course. You also get Stress Less, Lose More Challenge. So you get started right away. If you're like, I'm stressed, I'm like you, like 12 to 14 out of 10 being really stressed, you get started right away on lowering your stress. We dive deep into stress and sleep as well. So here's what you're going to get. The Beyond the Fork Real Deal Weight Loss Program. It is a beta program. It is new in a group setting. You're not going to pay that much, by the way. The Metabolism Jumpstart, the Sleep the Weight Off video course. Get lots of Boundless Energy, Stress Less, Lose More. This is just a download. VIP Kickoff Call. So that's a total value of over $25,000. We have to get to the front side of this, my friends. You see what happens when women, when clients, such as my clients, Brandy, Susie, Nancy, Gina, Laura, April, Trisha, when they look to get the supports so that they don't have to go out and figure out on their own what they need to eat for their body, how to decrease their sugar intake, how to sleep better, how to lower their stress, we see quite a few things happen. We see that they are eating the foods for their body. We see that they are sleeping so much better. They have so much more energy. They have strategies in place so that when life hits them, they don't go back to old patterns of behavior. They find out if they are self-sabotaging and why. So when women come to me, they say, you know, I really don't have the time or the resources to invest. And I get that. Former ER nurse. Yes, I get that. But see, when women carve out the time, what they actually end up finding is we save you a lot of time in the long run. Time in dealing with colds, with illnesses, that eating too much sugar, binge eating, emotional eating, it depletes your immune system. Save you time and trying to figure out what's going to work for you. Time so that you're not doing things that that are not right for your unique body. And some women come to me and say, you know what, I really don't have the resources or the money to invest. And I get that. I truly do. But when you're willing to make that investment in yourself and putting yourself higher on your list of priorities, we can save you a whole heck of a lot of money and resources on the back end, so that you're not buying supplements that don't work, so that you're not buying shakes that you don't like and you're not going to do, so that you're not buying foods that aren't in alignment to getting you to the results that you want and that you want to maintain. I get it. I get it. We have to get to the front side of this, my friends, so that you can be and get your you go girl movement, whatever it is for you. This is a special summit price. It is a beta program. Only 12 payments of $197. If you're like, dude, that is a low price, I get it, but right now I can't do it. I get it. There's financing available for you. But how do we do this first? First off, we got to see if it's a good fit, because it could potentially not be a good fit, right? So there is an application process to see if it's a good fit. Why do we want to do this? So you can get all of these benefits and then some. Only 12 payments of $197 in this group setting. This is the lowest price this program will ever be. You get guides, sheets, recipes, everything to help you hold accountable. You get some consistency, you get a Facebook group, you get text and email support, my own personal cell phone, by the way, number. So if this is what you want to do, if you're interested, apply for the program. It's tinyurl.com/apply-BTF. I'm going to put it in the chat for you. If you have any questions about what I went over or about the program, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm so excited about this new program that I put together, because I get to help more women such as you. Yes. And I'm so excited. You get all those bonuses, by the way, as soon as you sign up. I'm going to put the URL in there so it's a clickable link. Now, if you've already scheduled the weight loss breakthrough session, still fill out this application, because there are some questions in there that are not in the application for the breakthrough session. Okay. And then we can either cancel your breakthrough session to get you on my call. I've actually just opened up more spots on my calendar for those who are hungry for this type of support. Yes. So if you're hungry for this type of support, if now is your time, make it your time, right? Make it your time. Once again, financing is available if you're like, oh, it's just a little bit out of my reach. When you schedule your appointments, by the way, after you fill out the application, it's going to take you right to schedule your appointment. Okay. So that you do everything in one time frame. You're going to immediately schedule your appointment to discuss whether or not the program is right for you. And if you're like, I really, I think so, I don't know if I want to finance, but if you have questions, schedule that time. I'll answer your questions and we'll see if financing is available option for you, if that's something you want to, look into as well. I have a couple of clients who are doing that right now. Believe me, been there, done that. I use my tax refund to get my health coach. I really did. So I understand the money issue and I want to honor that as well. So if you have any questions about the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method, post them in the comments below. I'll answer them for you. Thank you so much for hanging with me for a little over an hour and 15 minutes. I do so appreciate it, and I do value your time. It's been such an honor and privilege to hang with you today, this morning. The replay will be available after Tuesday for those of you who've signed up so you can watch it again. If you didn't have time to jot down notes, let's get you the results. Let's get you your personal go girl moment. You deserve it. You do. I'll help you to develop a plan to get you the results that you want today. Let's get you. What is your life going to be like by the end of the year? Next year? Visualize it. What's the vision you have for yourself? Because you are so worth it. So click on the link. It'll take you to apply for the program. And then once you submit that, it'll actually take you to the link to schedule your time for the consult. It's a consult for the program. And then I can answer any questions you might have about the program itself. To your health, have a great day. It's been my honor and privilege to give you this information. You can do it. You deserve it. It is possible. You too can have your own You